Mike Warriors. I am Alex Black with my co-host Hydrate. We are going to do a rundown of SMFC Brawl 59, which is one episode closer to SMFC Brawl 60, one of the biggest shows of the year. And we're just going to go run down through all the fights currently on the match card and make our predictions about them.
That's right, Alex. It is a massive card with many do-or-die fights and a contender in the main event. It is sure to be an exciting night of action, and with that, let's get started. Match 1 to kick off the night will be Hannibal Hansen versus Greg Hayes. This is a fight to stay ranked and possibly employed. Hannibal Hansen is the 12th ranked middleweight. Greg Hayes is the 14th ranked middleweight. Neither are doing well. Alex, what do you think about this fight, and what is your prediction?
Well, it's obviously a do-or-die moment for both of them. So in my opinion, I'm just going to go with my prediction. If it goes down to it, I feel like Hannibal Hansen might get the job done. So when it goes down, he's more of a well-rounded fighter. I feel like Greg Hayes can't really get in the ground game. So I feel like he might struggle down the road. Now when it comes down to it, it might be a risk saying that Greg Hayes might be unemployed after this. Either that, or he might have to move up a division to stay in.
That's a good prediction. Hannibal Hansen was very dominant on his rise up to the title, but failed and has been kind of struggling since then. I'm going to predict Greg Hayes myself. We haven't seen Greg Hayes in a hot minute, causing him to fall down the ranks due to inactivity, but Greg Hayes is a versatile fighter who can take you down if he wants to, but also has some serious knockout power that people tend to forget about. So, I'm actually going to say Greg Hayes. I think Greg Hayes gets it done, but I think it's going to be a very good fight.
Alright, on to our next match. Match number 2, we have the number 8 ranked Alfred Hanley versus the number 11 ranked debutee Andy Knight. What are your predictions on this one?
My predictions for this one. Ooh, this one's tough. This one is tough. Ooh. Alfie's pretty good. We've seen Alfie. He's been here for a hot minute. 12-9. He's done well. But you can never know what to expect from a rookie coming out of the gates. I think Hanley's gonna get it done, but I think we're gonna see something special from the debuter.
Well, I think honestly, it's gonna be a rookie moment. Rookies always make moments when it comes down to their first fights. I feel like Andy Knight might just get the job done against Alfie Hanley. So I think I got my money on Andy Knight right now.
Okay. On to the next fight. Next up after that... Sorry, I kind of clicked off. Anyway, next up we have the number 4 ranked middleweight Damikos Anderson, the former champion, versus the number 9 ranked Kobu Pantheon. Alex, your thoughts and prediction?
Well, this one's honestly a tough fight considering that they're both champions in 2 different divisions. Damikos, obviously, I feel like he was a former middleweight champion. In fact, he was the former middleweight champion until Walker Brooks took the title. And if he gets caught once, usually, mind you, he has great ground game. But when it comes to he has great ground game. He's great almost all around. But he can get caught when it matters most by a good strike. But I still think Damikos, if he takes it to the ground, he's gonna drown Kobu in this match. I think the number 4 ranked Damikos is gonna take this fight.
That's a very good prediction. Damikos is very deadly on the ground. We've seen that many times over, including during his reign as middleweight champion. However, I think I'm going to have to go with Kobu Pantheon because he's been slipping, he's been struggling, yes, but he's got that veteran grit and a never-say-die attitude. He's tough, and I think that's going to get him through and get him up on the ranks, get him higher up there.
Alright, we got
light heavyweight.
Our next match going on, we got Michael Gomez, number 4 ranked, if I believe so. Michael Gomez is going to take on Tony Tornado, the number 7 ranked. Now, what are your predictions on this match?
Ooh, this is a really tough one. As a podcaster, I'm personally supposed to be unbiased. Well, I misuse personally, whatever. But as a fan of the product, I love both these guys. Both are really tough. Both are former champions, if I remember, or former contenders at the very least. And I'm actually gonna have to go with Tony Tornado. He had the title for a little bit. He had the interim title, and then he had the title. And I think he wants that gold again sooner rather than later. But it's going to be a real knockout brawl.
Yeah, honestly, this one's a very tough match considering that these both are two of the best knockout artists inside their division. And you're right, they're both contenders. Tony Tornado, of course, the former light heavyweight champion, or one of the former light heavyweight champions. So this is honestly a tough fight for me to argue against. I feel like if Tony can slip up, he has slipped up multiple times. That's why his records are 15-15. So I think honestly I might give it to Gomez. He has more of a well-rounded defense. But both of these, eventually, if one of them makes one mistake, they both could knock each other out. But I'm gonna give it to Michael Gomez in this one.
All right. Next up will be a middleweight fight between the number 3 ranked former champion Adrian Wilkins and the so-so rookie Noah Chapman.
Now, obviously, there's a reason why Adrian Wilkins was such a dominant champion for such a very long time, and for his title to be taken in a unification match at that. It kind of gives you a rundown of his resume and how good of a fighter he is. Now, he did have a slip at the end when he lost his title, but then he started building himself back up. I think Adrian Wilkins might get the job done against Noah Chapman, and I think it's honestly going to be by KO. I think he's going to knock him out.
All right. Like you said, Adrian Wilkins, he was a dominant champion only to lose it in a unification match against the then light heavyweight champion Burrow Daniels. But he's also been trying to climb the ranks since then, but keeps falling down when he gets up to this spot. Every time he gets up to the top 3, he'll take some losses and fall right back down. So can Noah Chapman benefit from what seems to be the curse of Adrian Wilkins? Or will Noah Chapman's inconsistency be his own downfall, and will he get kicked in the face tonight? I personally am going to say Adrian Wilkins takes the knockout victory.
Okay, now we got our co-main event. We got our 6th match happening. The number 3 ranked Dustin Rhodes versus Tala Haktua.
Okay. Yep. This is a light heavyweight fight between the number 3 ranked and the number 9 ranked. Dustin Rhodes has slowly been climbing the ranks in what some fans might say is a well-deserved moment. But if he wins here, he is in title contention talks. He already is anyway. But Tala Haktua, this is honestly a must-win for him because he's been struggling lately. As you can see, he's the number 9 ranked light heavyweight. And if he is to knock out or submit Dustin Rhodes here, I'd say that's a huge boost for his momentum. And it's going to be a great fight either way, but I'm going to have to give it to Dustin Rhodes, unfortunately. I think he's going to get him.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, this is a story-making and career of a lifetime fights for Dustin right now. He's been on a tear so far ever since coming back and became one of the most dangerous ground and pounders in the light heavyweight division. His recent fight, honestly, was against Tala Haktua, where he TKO'd him in ground and pound. So I honestly will give it to Dustin Rhodes, mainly due to the fact that he's just gained so much experience in the ground and pound way that he, at this point, is probably one of the most dangerous people in that division. And I feel like he's gonna have another notch up on his belt for his resume, and I think he's gonna be one of the next few contenders in the light heavyweight divisions.
All right. Next up is gonna be the co-main event of this card. It is a middleweight fight between the number 2 ranked Dad Trainer and the number 5 ranked former contender Robert Zodiac. Both men are veterans who have massive knockout power, Zodiac resting on those knockouts to quickly climb up the card, and Dad Trainer kind of making a comeback. If Dad Trainer wins, he is most definitely the number one contender for after Brawl 60. But if Robert Zodiac can pull it off, which he very well could, he could be in the title picture again sooner rather than later. It is going to be a knockout brawl. Nobody's going to go to the ground unless it is over.
Yeah, obviously Dad Trainer is the number 2 ranked fighter for a reason now. I honestly feel like when it comes down to it, I feel like Dad Trainer, his explosive fighting style really can get him caught sometimes, but when it works, it works. He will, I feel like he will get that win. I feel like Dad Trainer is obviously gonna get that win, and I feel like he'll be the next contender, because guaranteed this fight is a contender fight. So I feel like Dad Trainer, he's gonna get the job done, and then he's gonna be next for that belt.
And then up next, it is going to be the main event of Brawl 59. It is a light heavyweight championship contender. Winner fights Braden Brown for the title at Brawl 60. We got the number 1 ranked Pablo Rodriguez versus the number 2 ranked Elliot Southey. Your thoughts and predictions, Alex?
I honestly, this is one of the tougher fights to contend, because Pablo, he's been one of those calculated people, but Elliot Southey, he has been going through a tear so far. He went through Tony Tornado as of recently, one of his most recent matches. He went through Tony Tornado to get this fight. So I feel like, honestly, Elliot, with enough force and brute strength, I feel like he's gonna overpower Pablo Rodriguez and get the knockout. So my vote is on Elliot Southey right now.
It's going to be a tough fight because one guy loves the ground game, one guy loves the stand-up fighting. I'm going to have to go Elliot Southey as well, because if this goes anywhere, if it goes into the 3rd round, I think Pablo could take it. But if it stays within the first 2 rounds or even the round number 1, I think it's going to be because Elliot knocked the ever-loving piss out of Pablo Rodriguez. I think Elliot takes it, and we see Elliot versus Braden at Brawl 60.
Yeah, I honestly agree with you right there. Like, Pablo, he could suffocate people throughout the late rounds, but when it comes to the early rounds, I feel like Elliot Southey just has a knockout power, and he'll do whatever he can just to knock you out.
All right, and that is the card. You want to run through your predictions real quick once again, rapid fire?
Yeah, I will. Of course, the first round, I feel like Hannibal Henson, he's gonna obviously beat Greg Hayes, and I feel like it's gonna be via KO. Andy Knight, I feel like that rookie, he's gonna end up pulling an upset against Alfie Hanley and giving him another knock under the belt. Then I feel like Damocos, he's gonna suffocate Kobu. As soon as he gets him on the ground, I feel like it's game over. Then, of course, I feel like Michael Gomez just might get that notch on the belt. He might knock out Tony Tornado. Even though I really enjoy Tony's fights, I just feel like Michael just has more defensive prowess. Then, of course, I feel like Adrian Wilkins right now, he's going on a tear to get back that title. So I feel like he's gonna get that win. Of course, along with that, speaking of tears, Justin Rhodes, I have him obviously going to beat Talha Tour via ground and pound in their second bout. And then I feel like DT, the Dad Trainer, is gonna get his number. He's gonna get his hand raised at the end of the match against Robert Zodiac. And then Southie's just gonna KO Paulo Rodriguez in the first 2 rounds. I feel like that's gonna happen, and it's time for Elliot to get that belt.
All right, I'm gonna run through my predictions. I think Greg Hayes takes it because I think he's got the grit and the determination to stay employed. I think Alfie Hanley is gonna show the rookie that you can't just walk in and expect to shoot right up the card. I think Kobu's gonna outgrit Damocos Anderson. I think Gomez is gonna knock the head off of Tony Tornado like a rock'em sock'em robot. I think Adrian Wilkins is going to outclass the up-and-coming rookie Noah Chapman. I think Dustin's going to continue his bit of a late-stage comeback. I think Dad Trainer is going to step in as possibly the next contender for Walter Brooks. And I think Elliot Southey is going to kick Pablo Rodriguez's teeth in.
Alright, now, before we end this, I have a quick question on this fight. Who do you got? Because guaranteed Brawl 60 is going to be James McMahon versus Walter Brooks. Who do you have in that match in the future?
That is very tough, and I'm actually going to want to save that for our next episode, where tune into the next episode, fans, if you want to hear our predictions on Brawl 60.
This has been Alex Black and Hydrate, the Mic Warriors, where they fight in the octagon while we fight on the mics, and this is us sounding off.
Peace.